11 Alive News at 6 p.m. starts now.
Well, tonight there is sadness across Georgia, especially within Bulldog Nation, as two people tied to the UGA football program were killed in an overnight crash. This morning we learned 20-year-old Devin Willock, an offensive lineman, and 24-year-old Chandler LaCroix, who served as a member of the football staff, died while traveling overnight in Athens. Good evening, I'm Kristen Crowley. This happened just hours after the Bulldogs celebrated their second straight national championship with thousands of their fans. Now there's an outpouring of sadness and just complete shock. We have team coverage on this developing story coming up. Reggie Chapman provides perspective on this tragedy to UGA. But first, let's go live to Athens, where 11 Alive's Dawn White joins us now with the very latest on this story. Dawn.
Feel the grief in the air here at UGA. Fans were celebrating the national championship title win here at Sanford Stadium yesterday, and today the campus is grieving the loss of two people. Let's take a look at some video that we shot earlier. This crash killed 20-year-old offensive lineman Devin Willock, along with Chandler LaCroix. She worked for the football team as well. Athens Clark County Police say LaCroix drove the vehicle just before 3 a.m. today along Barnett Shoals Road in Athens. Investigators believe the SUV left the road, hitting two power poles and several trees. Offensive lineman Warren McClendon was also in the car, and he has been released from the hospital. A fourth person, Tori Bowles, who's a member of the football team, is in the hospital in serious condition. I spoke to a woman who says she heard the crash happen.
I just hear this bang, the power goes out, and then it comes back on. But I was curious, so I got out of bed and came out here. I can't even tell what happened because they hit the power line, they hit a light pole, and then they hit the tree, and then they hit the building. Like I don't even, and then they end up behind the car. I can't even say how they would have gotten into that position.
And you can see this memorial of flowers here is starting to build outside of Sanford Stadium. We will talk to students and fans here on campus and have the reaction for you tonight after the game.
And Dawn, we've been hearing those reactions all day. In a statement, head coach Kirby Smart said Willock was always smiling and LaCroix brought an incredible attitude and energy every single day. Governor Brian Kemp sending out the following tweet: "Our hearts break for the young lives lost last night and their families. We are lifting up their loved ones, friends, and teammates in prayer this morning." And former players speaking out, including Jordan Davis, who is now in the NFL. He tweets, quote, "There is no grief without love, and we love both of you like family." You can read more reaction over on 11alive.com. And as we said, it was just yesterday the Bulldogs were celebrating their second straight national championship. Of course, Devin Willock was part of that celebration, riding atop of a fire engine you see right there through the streets of Athens. Unbelievable. That was just more than 24 hours ago. You can see him there on top on the far left of this group right there. He even took to Instagram to share the experience he had with his fellow Georgia teammates, including a selfie with fellow lineman Tate Ratledge. Willock even made sure to get shots of the large crowd which lined those streets. And many of those Bulldog fans saw him Saturday afternoon just smiling and enjoying that celebration, soaking it all in. So hard to believe so much would change overnight. 11 Alive sports anchor Reggie Chapman joins us now with more on this tragic story. Reggie, I mean, it's clear Devin meant a lot to this team and to the UGA community.
Yeah, Kristen, the support has been pouring across social media all day long. Not just former and current players, but much of the football community, including the Falcons, Georgia Tech, and the University of Nebraska, and other teams around the SEC and the country. On the field, Devin was most used in a reserve role on Georgia's offensive line, but he had carved out a spot in their rotation. Like others who had come through the Georgia program, Willock was someone who worked hard and waited his turn. He redshirted his freshman year, running with the scout team before playing in 12 or more games in each of the last 2 seasons, including multiple starts in some of the biggest games of the year during Georgia's 2023 run to back-to-back national titles, earning more and more playing time the last 2 seasons.
And Reggie, you get a chance to be around these players all the time. You get to see them in and out. So what were they like off the field? What kind of person was he like?
Well, he was a great person, and we didn't get many opportunities to talk with Devin, but when we did, it was clear he was someone that was a kind soul and cares so much about others. Just yesterday, after the parade, Georgia fan Sam Kramer tweeted out these pictures of Devin and thanking him for taking his time to talk to his grandson, also saying that Devin went out of his way to make him feel special and that it made his day all the way. He also let the young boy wear his championship ring. These photos, a great representation of the person Devin truly was. According to our UGA insiders at UGAsports.com, fellow offensive lineman Warren McClendon was also in that fatal car accident and was released from the hospital earlier today. He took to Twitter and simply tweeted both a broken heart and a dove emoji. Such a tragic day for the Bulldog community. I'll have more on Devin a little bit later in the show in sports.
Yeah, nothing anybody could have ever expected after such a celebration yesterday. Just gut-wrenching and a terrible day. So Reggie, thank you for that. The story continues to develop. For the very latest, you can head over to 11alive.com. Now to today's other top story, the celebration of the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., complete with a visit to Atlanta from President Joe Biden. The setting was Ebenezer Baptist Church, a congregation which once regularly heard the sermons of Dr. King before his assassination in 1968. On this Sunday, the historic sermon came from the nation's president, and he used it to say democracy was at a perilous moment. Biden arrived at Hartsfield-Jackson aboard Air Force One and was met on the tarmac by Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens and U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff. Then the motorcade wound its way down Sweet Auburn and to Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Georgia's other U.S. Senator, the Reverend Raphael Warnock, welcomed him. In his remarks, the president spoke of Dr. King's mission, which was, in his words, to redeem the soul of America.
What is the soul of America? Easy to say, but what is the soul of America? Well, the soul is the breath, the life, the essence of who we are. The soul makes us us. The soul of America is embodied in the sacred proposition that we're all created equal in the image of God.
Biden's words were meant to invoke the memory of Dr. King, but also inspire a push to the future and continue his legacy. With more on the president's visit, here's 11 Alive's Karis Belger.
With today's sermon, Biden became the first sitting president to speak at Ebenezer Baptist Church, and he took the opportunity to reflect on Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy and make a charge for the future. As the sun rose on Ebenezer Baptist Church Sunday, the people filed in for a special word.
This is a historic moment, and I'm so grateful and thankful and feeling utterly blessed to be a part of this miraculous and memorable occasion.
The occasion, the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 94th birthday, and a service meant to honor his legacy ahead of the holiday which bears his name. President Biden arrived Sunday morning to give a sermon at the invitation of Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, making him the first sitting president to do so. Biden using his time in the pulpit to reflect on the impact of the civil rights icon.
We gather to contemplate his moral vision and to commit ourselves to his path, the path that leads to the beloved community.
And asking those watching and listening to do a little good in King's name.
We have to choose a community over chaos. Are we the people who are going to choose love over hate? These are the vital questions of our time.
This was the perfect time for Joe Biden to come and give his speech.
Jaquette Lowry was one of many inside the sanctuary for the president's sermon, a message she says was perfectly timed. She joined the crowd of people, young and old, waiting for a glimpse of the departing motorcade after the service. The president's words about taking action, top of mind.
It's just loving each other, you know, for who we all are and just being able to just get along and be on one accord.
In Atlanta, Karis Belger, 11 Alive News.
And if you missed President Biden's remarks, you can watch his full address today at Ebenezer Baptist over on our streaming platform 11 Alive Plus. You can download it on Roku or Amazon Fire TV. And still ahead for us today, more of our top headlines. Also, millions of Americans buy stamps every year. Coming up, our Verified team looks into whether sending mail will soon cost you a little more.
We enjoyed a dry and sunny but chilly day today. We're going to be swapping out the cool air for some warmer temperatures, but the trade-off is the return of some rainfall by Tuesday. I'll time this all out hour by hour coming up.
And other stories we're following for you this Sunday. Police believe an argument in Buckhead late last night had deadly consequences for one man. This is inside the apartment on Brookwood Valley Circle. We're told this broke out just before midnight, and at some point, shots were fired. The victim was shot several times and died at the scene. So far, all APD has said is this involved a known suspect. And Rockdale deputies searching for a woman right now who is possibly kidnapped by a man they're describing as armed and dangerous. They say Eric Flemister kidnapped Aviana Edwards on Saturday, but did not say what the relationship is between the two. Flemister was last seen driving a 2017 Nissan Sentra with the tags AE7105. If you see either of them or the car, call police. And whether it is holiday cards, wedding invitations, or just paying bills, millions of Americans buy stamps every year, every day, really. Brandon Lewis from our Verify team answers your questions about whether it'll soon cost more to send your mail.
The U.S. Postal Service processes more than 425 million pieces of mail a day, including some sent by Verify viewer Barbara. She texted our team to ask whether it'll cost more to send mail this year. So Barbara, let's verify. Are stamp prices going up in 2023? Our sources are the U.S. Postal Service and the Postal Regulatory Commission. The price of stamps is controlled by the Postal Regulatory Commission. Currently, it costs 60 cents to mail a standard 1-ounce letter. In October, the Postal Service announced it wanted to raise the price to 63 cents and increase the cost of sending postcards and some international mail to help offset inflation. The request was approved by the Commission in November and takes effect on January 22nd. So, yes, stamp prices are going up in 2023. This is the second increase in less than a year. Stamps went up 2 cents on July 10th, 2022. You could save some money by purchasing Forever stamps before the increase on January 22nd. Forever stamps will always be enough postage to mail a 1-ounce letter, regardless of how much you paid to buy them. Just remember to buy your stamps from an official stamp seller. Offers of big discounts are usually a scam, and you'll likely end up with counterfeit stamps. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
So I should buy my Christmas card stamps now. Got it. As we go through the next couple of days, our cloud cover will be increasing across North Georgia. These clouds are really not all that far away from us. They're pushing now into Louisiana, Mississippi, ahead of this incoming cold front. This is the storm system that we've been watching off the coast of California. It's now moved onshore, still leading to some pretty widespread and at times heavy rainfall across the west coast. This will be swinging eastward in the coming days, bringing rainfall to our neck of the woods, but it'll be a slow transition back to more overcast and eventually wetter conditions across the Atlanta area, which means tomorrow should still be an overall enjoyable day. This is our view right now across Rome, where the sun is setting. Temperatures are certainly chilly out there, but a big improvement from yesterday. We're currently sitting at 53 degrees in Atlanta with a light breeze. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we will be falling down to likely near or below freezing. So we'll still see freezing temperatures across much of North Georgia. In Atlanta, I think we'll hover right around that 32-degree mark down towards the south. Thomaston, even around Eatonton, we may manage to stay just barely above the freezing point. Temperatures will be gradually climbing in the coming days, and you'll notice it tomorrow as well. Highs will get up to near 60 degrees, even with that influx of cloud cover. We're going to start off the morning mostly clear to partly cloudy and then turn overcast by the afternoon hours as we hit our highs in the 50s. This puts us about 5 degrees above our normal temperatures for this time of year, and that warming pattern will really continue through much of this upcoming week. As we move through the next few days, though, we'll bring in the cloud cover and eventually the rainfall as well. This is your forecast track by tomorrow morning. Not a lot of cloud cover, but we're certainly starting to see some of those high clouds move in across the area, and then a big change by tomorrow afternoon with mostly cloudy to completely overcast skies. At this point, still dry. I think the earliest we'll see rainfall across North Georgia is likely late Monday night into early Tuesday morning as some of these isolated showers and storms develop. These are going to be pushing down towards the south. This could likely have an impact on your morning commute on Tuesday. So if you're enjoying the long weekend and not quite thinking about that morning commute on Tuesday just yet, keep in mind that you might want to give yourself a little bit of extra time with some of that rain across the area. It's not going to be a washout Tuesday by any means, but we'll certainly have some rain on the radar, and at times it could be heavy. We've got our first round of rain that comes through during the day on Tuesday. We dry out for Tuesday night as well as Wednesday morning, and then rain moves back in by Wednesday afternoon ahead of our incoming cold front. The main event with this is really going to be throughout the day on Thursday, and that's also when we'll start to bring in some of the colder air behind that cold front. So we'll continue the warming pattern with highs getting to near 70 degrees by Wednesday and Thursday, feeling a little bit spring-like, and then the cold front moves through on Thursday night. High temperatures drop down into the 50s, and overnight lows drop down into the 40s. So it's not going to be quite as cold as what we felt this past weekend, but we will bring in colder air once again. Our rain chances may also stick around for a while, with the possibility of some rainfall into next weekend as well.
Well, it's still winter. We can't avoid all the cold weather. Nicole, thank you. Tonight, the NFL playoffs continue as the Cincinnati Bengals play host to the Baltimore Ravens. Winner here moves on to the divisional round, the playoffs. Coverage begins with Football Night in America at 7:30 p.m. Kickoff set for around 8:20 our time. After the game, stay with us for a late edition of 11 Alive News. And coming up after the break, Reggie Chapman shows you more reaction from around the country following the tragic loss of Devin Willock and Chandler LeCroy.
Welcome back, everybody. We continue our coverage on a sad day in sports as a single vehicle crash took the lives of Georgia offensive lineman Devin Willock and football staff member Chandler LeCroy early Sunday morning. Reactions have been pouring in from across the country. Everyone from Georgia Tech, the Falcons, LSU, Ohio State, and other schools and coaches around the country offering their condolences. Twitter and Instagram have been full of photos and videos of Devin and Chandler. This one coming from Georgia defensive back Javon Bullard, him and Chandler with a broken heart emoji. Defensive lineman Bear Alexander tweeted out this photo of him and Devin saying, "No one better than this one to prepare for Saturdays. This one don't sit well." Meanwhile, Georgia Associate Director of Recruiting and Operations Angela Kirkpatrick tweeted out photos with Chandler. In part said, "Our team is broken and lost and missing y'all. A girl who loved Georgia football more than anyone in the world. We love you, Chan." Running back Kendall Milton ran behind Devin. His tweet saying, "Long live Big Dev. Love you, family. A real special soul. I'm blessed to be a part of your story." Now, other coaches from around the SEC weighed in as well. This is Tennessee coach Josh Heupel offering his condolences to the friends and family of both the families. And finally, over in Nebraska, new head coach Matt Rule saying, "Our hearts are heavy today. No words, only prayers for UGA athletics." All right, speaking of former Bulldogs, it's been a tough year for Buffalo Bills running back James Cook, who teammate Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field and almost lost his life on January 2nd. Today on the field dealing with another tough loss, his former teammate passing away this morning. Cook and his team in the playoff matchup versus the Dolphins this afternoon. So we head out to Orchard Park now. A Bills win means there is still a chance for the AFC Championship to be held here in Atlanta. We picked this game up early first. Bills up 7-0 already. Dolphins backup Skylar Thompson in for an injured Tua Tagovailoa. Looking for Tyreek Hill and gets picked off by former Falcon Dean Marlowe. That sets up a former Bulldog, and that's here he is. James Cook pounding it in to make it 14-0. Buffalo. So we move ahead. Early to the third quarter, 3-point game. Josh Allen, he's been really good this year. This play, not so much. Ball drops and hits the ground. Who's going to hop on top of it? It's Zach Azealer. Pounces on it and into the end zone as the Dolphins take the lead, their first lead of the game. But later in the third, Josh Allen connects with Cole Beasley for the go-ahead touchdown. Back and forth we would go in this game. We're still in the quarter. Allen, check out this throw. The perfect pass to Gabe Davis. Somehow keeps his feet in, and that will do it. The Bills move on to the playoffs with a 34-31 win over the Dolphins. All right, that's it for sports. Thanks for watching, everybody. More news after commercial break.
It'll be another cold night tonight, but not quite as cold as the last couple. We'll get down to right around freezing by the time you're waking up tomorrow morning. So if you are headed out to any Martin Luther King Jr. Ceremonies or anything of that sort early in the morning, you definitely need a heavy coat, a heavy jacket. We'll bring in some cloud cover by the afternoon, but it really doesn't slow down our warm up. Highs will get up into the 50s and we'll continue warming into the middle of the week. We'll top out near 70 by Wednesday and Thursday, but the trade-off is going to be some rainfall. So we'll have scattered showers showers, isolated storms Tuesday through Thursday. At this point, it does not look like there will be any sort of severe weather threat, just some nuisance rain.
Thank goodness. We needed that news in there. Reggie's pumping his fist, by the way.
I need more warm weather. More warm weather is what I need.
All for you.
I think we all do. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for watching us tonight. We're back here on 11 Alive after the Ravens and Bengals. Have a good night.